Thank you so much for being here. This is a very important discussion, and want to just say thank you for your time and your expertise. Also, have to recognize this is the second day in a row that we've had someone representing one of our great universities from Illinois. So I want to keep the streak going. Looking forward to tomorrow. Not sure who our witness will be then, but we're so proud of the University of Illinois and all of our great universities. So thank you. As my colleagues have said, agriculture is so important, and certainly in Illinois, agriculture drives exports. I had the great opportunity last year to be in Taiwan, meet with the president of Taiwan, and also foreign and agricultural ministers there, just to discuss how important and mutual importance of agriculture exports, and specifically from Illinois. I also serve as co-chairman of the Tom Lantos Human Rights Commission and see that agricultural and food security is an ever-present force that compounds and exacerbates the basic lack of legal and human rights in conflict regions around the world. So we have to continue to recognize what we can do to make sure that food is available to every single person. Dr. Moose, I wonder if I could address my first question to you. Can you talk a little bit about how federal support for agricultural research can encourage stronger connections between farmers, scientists, and society, and how specifically Illinois is helping to build those connections?
Yeah, so as I alluded to in the testimony that I gave and then in my written testimony, I think the federal government has this role of bringing the community together, the community of scientists, the interaction with society, and then because agriculture is so important to many districts around the country, it is why it's a national issue. Every region of the country has their own climate, their own agricultural systems that operate there, yet we can learn from all of them. What a corn farmer does in Illinois, he may learn from the farmer elsewhere in the country. So that's one. Also, it was alluded to earlier, building the pipeline, where through education, you're not only educating the knowledge, there's the networking, the interaction of people that I know certainly in my career at North Carolina State, it was the early days of biotechnology research, and it was recognized a workforce needed to be developed. And North Carolina State was one of the first to do that. And now my peers that I went through that program with are leaders in the industry, they're leaders in government, they're leaders in academia. We need to have that next generation also. And I think the unique aspect of that program and others like we have at Illinois, for example, our Illinois Plant Breeding Center, industry supports the graduate training. They don't expect a research outcome. All they expect is maybe we'll have some good employees, to hire down the road. And so I think that educational piece is really important. And it was integral to Lincoln's vision. He considered the education foremost to drive the research.
I agree. Let me open this up to everyone. Coming from Illinois, I see our national laboratories as vital to our research ecosystem, building the large research facilities and unique one-off machines that no one institution or federal agency has the ability to manage. So again, these laboratories are so important to bring people together. The Advanced Photon Source at Argonne has nearly 2,000 users in the biological and life sciences. I toured Lawrence Berkeley this year and saw the great benefits of the Joint Genome Institute to multiple areas of research. Facilities like the Molecular Science Lab at PNNL also come to mind. Do you think the USDA is properly leveraging these facilities and other investments in our labs, and how can we better facilitate a more collaborative approach between different agencies so that we're doing the best science and not duplicating efforts and facilities? And I'd open up to anybody.
Well, I wouldn't mind starting just to talk a little bit about Plum Island and the work that was done there. I was in charge of Plum Island. It was part of the Science and Technology Directorate when I was acting under and then Deputy Undersecretary. So worked with them very closely. And I always felt like Plum Island was really very much of a joint facility. I had Department of Homeland Security people, and I had people from USDA, Department of Agriculture, and every time I'd go up there, I couldn't keep straight who was from which organization, and they were literally working on the bench side by side. One of the outputs of this collaboration was the first ever, what we call a DIVA vaccine for foot and mouth disease. And so that's a great representation of where there is good collaboration. I felt the same with other agencies. For example, EPA and Department of Ag and Health and Human Services as well as Homeland Security. We all collaborated on difficult questions about how would one handle a foot and mouth disease event. For example, think about the large amount of just waste that would be generated if you had to depopulate a number of livestock across several different farms. You know, we were thinking about numbers in excess of 50,000 animals at a time that would, you know, you'd have to do something with all that, that waste. So, I mean, we work very closely to try to collaborate. And there's a lot of, believe it or not, even on the depopulation question, there's a lot of research and development that goes into answering how clean is clean enough and how do you dispose of what could be very dangerous pathogenic material.
Thank you. 5 minutes, now 6 minutes goes by way too fast. So we'll follow up because I think this is an important issue of, again, how we can be continuing to build collaboration. Thank you all. I yield back.